Right now, American homeowners are spending between $25 and $60 replacing snake plants they killed with kindness right after the bloom. If you are in your 50s or 60s and your snake plant just sent up a flower spike, stop. That bloom is not a reward. It is a distress signal. In this video, you will get 5 exact cause chains, 1 complete recovery protocol, and 1 propagation method that turns this stress event into $90 worth of free plants. The shock fact most growers never hear: that rosette will never bloom again. And the plant most people discard at week 2 is actually the most valuable it has ever been. Welcome to PlantERLab, where smart growers discover plant ideas that actually pay off. Today we are breaking down exactly what happens when your snake plant blooms, why most growers make a decision in the first 48 hours that costs them the entire plant, and why past the halfway point of this video, you will find out how 1 stress plant becomes 3 permanent free ones. Most growers look at a snake plant bloom and feel proud. That is exactly the wrong response, and it is the assumption that leads directly to the costly mistake this video is built around. A snake plant blooms for one biological reason: only it believes its survival is threatened. Severe root-bound pressure, prolonged drought, sudden light shift, or a sharp temperature drop, any one of these tells the plant's system to reproduce before it dies. In Zone 9 and 10 outdoor gardens across the South and Gulf Coast, summer heat stress is the #1 bloom trigger. For indoor growers across every U.S. zone, the trigger is almost always neglect a pot that has not been assessed in 2 or 3 seasons. If you are looking at a flower spike right now, the first thing to understand is your plant is not thriving. It is asking for help. And the next 48 hours of your decisions will determine whether it recovers into a plant worth $60 or ends up in the bin. Here is what 99% of guides skip entirely: the bloom is a diagnosis, not an event. When a mature Dracaena Trifasciata sends up a flower spike, the plant's internal stress threshold has been crossed, and the exact trigger tells you exactly what went wrong and exactly what to fix first. Trigger 1 is root-bound pressure. When roots have consumed every inch of available soil and begun circling the drainage base, the plant interprets this confinement as a threat to survival. Trigger 2 is prolonged drought. Not one missed watering a pattern of irregular watering over multiple months that pushed the plant's moisture reserves to a critical low. Trigger 3 is a sudden light shift, a seasonal window change, a furniture move, or a curtain added in autumn that dropped light levels sharply. Trigger 4 is temperature fluctuation, a vent, a drafty door, or an outdoor Zone 9 plant hit by an unseasonable heat spike above 95 degrees. Here is how to diagnose which trigger is yours on day 1. Check the drainage holes first. If roots are visible or pushing through, root-bound is your answer. Then press the soil. If it dries within 24 hours of watering, drought stress is a contributing factor. Look at your last light change date if the plant moved or the room changed within the past 60 days. That is relevant. Most growers call the bloom beautiful and do nothing. That single decision, doing nothing in the first 48 hours, is the mistake that costs $40 to $60 in replacement plants. Because if the trigger is not identified and corrected, the plant continues in distress after blooming, and the recovery window closes. In the next block, the single most overlooked trigger, the one hiding just beneath the soil, gets its full diagnosis. Root-bound condition is the #1 bloom trigger in mature snake plants, and it is the one most growers do not check until after they have already made the second mistake. Here is the exact 3-point diagnosis. First, look at the drainage holes. If roots are visibly emerging or have begun circling beneath the pot, root-bound pressure is confirmed. Second time your soil drying. After a normal watering, press the top inch of soil at the 24-hour mark. If it is already dry, the root mass has displaced so much soil volume that water retention has collapsed. Third, look at new leaf production. If your plant has not pushed a new leaf in the past 3 to 4 months, despite adequate light and water, the roots have run out of room to support new growth energy. Now, here is the decision most growers get completely wrong. They see the bloom, they diagnose the root-bound condition, and they repot immediately. That is the costly error. Repotting a snake plant during or immediately after bloom puts the plant under two simultaneous stressors: reproductive energy output and transplant shock, and the combination can collapse recovery entirely. For zones 6 and 7 growers in the Northeast and Midwest, attempting an autumn repot of a blooming plant adds a third stressor: seasonal energy withdrawal, and a mature plant lost to that triple stress event costs $40 to $80 to replace at current U.S. nursery prices. The correct action window is this: wait until the flower spike has fully browned and been cleanly cut. Confirm the plant has stabilized for 7 days, and then repot into a container only one size larger. By day 3, after the correct decision is made, the plant's stress signals visibly reduce leaf firmness returns, and the spike begins its natural progression toward brown. Coming up the exact moment to cut that spike and what happens to the plant's energy the moment you do. The flower spike on a blooming snake plant is an energy drain, and the timing of when you cut it determines whether your plant redirects that energy into recovery and pup production or continues spending reserves on a dying structure. Most mature growers either cut too early before the spike has completed its biological cycle, or never cut at all, leaving a browning spike attached for months. Both decisions cost the plant. Here is the exact science. While the spike is white and flowers are open or buds are still forming, the plant is actively moving energy into reproduction. Cutting at this stage interrupts that cycle and causes a secondary stress response, essentially 2 wounds instead of 1 managed closure. The correct cut window opens when the spike has fully turned brown from tip to base, all flowers have dropped, and no green tissue remains anywhere on the stalk. At that point, the plant has completed its reproductive push, and the spike is now only a dead energy cost. Use a clean, sterilized cutting tool, isopropyl alcohol on the blade before contact, and cut the spike at the base as close to the soil line as possible without disturbing the surrounding leaves. The cut angle should be clean and diagonal to allow any surface moisture to shed rather than pool. For growers in the humid Southeast and Gulf Coast in zones 8 through 10, a clean diagonal cut is especially important. Flat cuts in humid climates invite fungal entry. Here is the specificity most guides omit entirely. Within 7 to 14 days of a correctly timed cut, the plant redirects the recovered reproductive energy toward offset production. Pups begin forming at soil level, and each pup, once separated, is worth $15 to $30 at current U.S. nursery prices. That means a correct cut on a correctly timed plant is worth $45 to $90 in free propagation. The next block delivers the complete post-bloom recovery protocol and the week-by-week transformation timeline most growers never receive. Remember the promise from the start of this video: 1 stressed snake plant becomes 3 permanent free ones. This is where that happens. If you are in your 50s or 60s and you have been growing snake plants for years without ever receiving a complete post-bloom protocol, this block is the one to save. Here is the 4-step recovery sequence. Step 1, soil assessment. After the bloom spike is correctly cut, check your drainage by watering thoroughly and timing the drain. A healthy post-bloom snake plant in a correctly sized pot should drain within 30 minutes and show slight surface dryness within 48 hours. If it is still saturated at 72 hours, your soil mix has collapsed and aeration has failed, mix in 20 to 30% perlite at the correct repot window. Step 2, watering reset. In zones 4 through 7 across the Northeast and Midwest during autumn and winter, reduce watering to once every 21 to 28 days post-bloom. In zones 9 and 10 in the South and Gulf Coast during summer recovery, once every 10 to 14 days is the correct window. Overwatering a post-bloom snake plant is the single fastest path to root rot, and replacing a mature plant lost to post-bloom root rot costs $40 to $60 at any U.S. garden center. Step 3, light repositioning. A recovering snake plant needs 50 to 150 foot candles of indirect light, a north or east-facing window, in most American homes delivers exactly this. Do not move it into direct sun during recovery. Direct sun on a stressed plant accelerates moisture loss faster than the recovering root system can manage. Step 4, feeding window. Do not fertilize for the first 21 days post-bloom. After day 21, a single application of balanced 10-10-10 liquid fertilizer at half the label dosage is sufficient for the first feeding. Now, propagation. The jaw-drop fact that justifies everything said at the start of this video. Within 3 to 4 weeks of a correctly managed post-bloom recovery, pups' genetic offsets of the parent plant emerge at soil level. Each pup, when it reaches 3 to 4 inches in height, is ready for separation. Cut the connecting rhizome cleanly with a sterilized blade, pot each pup individually in a well-draining mix, and place in indirect light. At current U.S. nursery prices, each Dracaena Trifasciata pup sells for $15 to $30. 3 pups from one stressed parent plant equals $45 to $90 worth of plants at zero cost. That is the number promised at the start. That is the real dollar value of correct post-bloom management. By week 1, the parent plant stabilizes, leaves firm up, stress lean corrects. By week 2, pup tips break the soil surface. By week 3 to 4, full recovery is confirmed, deep green leaf color returns, new leaf growth resumes, and the plant that most growers would have discarded is now the most productive plant in the home. For indoor growers across all U.S. zones, pup separation can happen at any time of year as long as the home temperature stays above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The rooting medium that produces the fastest pup establishment is a mix of 60%. Well-draining potting soil and 40% perlite, this replicates the low moisture, high aeration conditions the pup's undeveloped root system needs in its first 4 weeks. For outdoor growers in zone 9 and 10 across the South, Southwest, and Gulf Coast, the optimal propagation window is spring through early summer soil temperatures above 65 degrees, accelerate rhizome rooting by 30 to 40% compared to autumn separation. In the Pacific Northwest in zones 8 and 9, a spring separation timed before the summer dry season gives pups the full warm season to establish before the wet, cool autumn arrives. One propagation detail that 99% of guides omit: do not water newly separated pups for the first 5 to 7 days. That dry establishment window encourages the cut rhizome to callus correctly before moisture contact, and it reduces fungal entry risk at the cut site by a significant margin. This channel exists for growers who have spent enough seasons making expensive mistakes they were never warned about. If that is you, and if you are in your 50s or 60s, subscribe right now. Every week, new content, zone aware, dollar grounded, built for your actual life. The final block is next 3 overlooked facts most growers never find, the honest best fit recommendation for your specific situation, and the emotional close that puts everything into perspective. We are not ending here. 3 facts most growers never find. First, once a rosette blooms, it will never bloom again. That exact rosette is now in a permanent post-reproductive state, but it will continue growing leaves for years. The plant's energy future now lives in its pups. Second snake plant bloom fragrance is strongest at night and is designed to attract moths in its native West African habitat. Indoor growers often smell a sweet night fragrance before they ever notice the flower spike. Third, a correctly managed snake plant lives 20 to 30 years indoors. One bloom event does not shorten that life. The decade after this bloom is determined entirely by the decisions made in the next 4 weeks. Honest best fit recommendation: if this is your first bloom event, focus only on correct spike timing and the 4-step recovery protocol. Do not repot yet. If you are an experienced grower who has managed repots before, add the propagation step at week 3 and expand your collection at 0 cost. The plant most people throw away at week 2, the one they call dead, is the same plant. That becomes 3 healthy specimens by week 4 in the hands of a grower who knew what to do. That is the difference this video was built to make. If this helped you, hit like it tells YouTube this information is worth sharing. Drop your bloom story in the comments, your zone, your trigger, your outcome, and help the next grower who finds this video. Think of one person in your life still spending money every spring on plants that never survive. Send them this video right now. You just received zone-accurate, dollar-grounded, research-based plant information that most channels never put in one place. That is what every PlantERLab video delivers. Subscribe now and turn on the bell. The next one is already coming.